Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Happiness is a good flow of life. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When your thoughts, words, and deeds form a seamless fabric, you streamline your efforts and thus eliminate worry and dread. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say. We cannot always choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. It is not that I am mad. It is only that my head is different from yours. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? You have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. It's time to stop being vague. If you wish to be an extraordinary person, if you wish to be wise, then you should explicitly identify the kind of person you aspire to become. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. Anything or anyone capable of angering you becomes your master. The greatest good is the knowledge of the union which the mind has with the whole of nature. He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. Our life is what our thoughts make it. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. When you arrive in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. First, say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. Happiness is good not only to the body, but also to the soul. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. It is not death that man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. The goal of life is living in agreement with nature. We ought to show love not only to those who are good and kind to us, but also to those who are bad and unjust. Circumstances don't make the man. They only reveal him to himself. To accuse others for one's own misfortune is a sign of want of education. To accuse oneself shows that one's education has begun. To accuse neither oneself nor others shows that one's education is complete. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. He who is brave is free. The foundation of a free society is rooted in the education of its youth. How much time he gains, it does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself to make it just and holy. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. What concerns me is not the way things are, but the way people think things are. Whenever you're about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question. What fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I'm about to criticize? Reason, not impulse, is the guide of life. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. We should not be upset by the truth, but rather by our ignorance of it. Those who are well constituted in the body endure both heat and cold, and so those who are well constituted in the soul endure both anger and grief, and excessive joy and the other effect. The world is a common possession of all men. Man is a rational animal. Every beginning is a consequence. Every beginning ends in something. I've often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. Nothing great comes into being all at once. The greatest things are done little by little. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Other people's views and troubles can be contagious. Don't sabotage yourself by unwittingly adopting negative, unproductive attitudes through your associations with others. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. The wise man looks into space and does not regard the small as too little, nor the great as too big, for he knows that there is no limit to dimensions. If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth by which no and was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues and is self-deception and ignorance who is harmed. The goal of life is not to possess power, but to radiate it. Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. A good mind and a good heart are always a formidable combination. No man is free who is not master of himself. Here's a rule to remember in the future when anything tempts you to feel bitter. Not this is misfortune, but to bear this worthily is good fortune. No evil is honorable, but death is honorable. Therefore, death is not evil. Imagine for yourself a character, a model personality, whose example you determine to follow in private as well as in public. It is better to do wrong seldom, and to own it, and to act right for the most part, than seldom to admit that you have done wrong, and to do wrong often. The best way to predict your future is to create it. The wise man knows that it is better to sit on the banks of a remote mountain stream than to be emperor of the whole world. The highest point of wisdom is to be simple. Never depend on the admiration of others. There is no strength in it. Personal merit cannot be derived from an external source. It is not to be found in your personal associations, nor can it be found in the regard of other people. There is nothing more important in life than human relationships. Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou will always look. The universe is one and infinite. Do not act as if you are going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you while you live. While it is in your power, be good. Live according to nature. Tentative efforts lead to tentative outcomes. Therefore, give yourself fully to your endeavors. Decide to construct your character through excellent actions and determine to pay the price of a worthy goal. The trials you encounter will introduce you to your spanks. Remain steadfast, and one day you will build something that endures, something worthy of your potential. The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The true end is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. To be angry is to revenge the fault of others on ourselves. Nothing is by its own nature calamitous. Even death is terrible only if we fear it. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. When another blames you, or hates you, or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside, and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you. To be wealthy is not merely to have riches, but to have things that are worth more than money. Here, take this moment, immerse yourself in its particulars. Respond to this person, this challenge, this deed. Quit evasions. Stop giving yourself needless trouble. It is time to really live, to fully inhabit the situation you happen to be in now. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. The goal is not to live forever. The goal is to create something that will. On the occasion of every accident that befalls you, remember to turn to yourself and inquire what power you have for turning it to use.